stacking my coin, stacking my coin, stacking my coin. Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, cash. Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, cash. Stacking my coin, stacking my coin, stacking my coin, stacking my coin. Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, cash. Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, cash. Since I was born, been stacking my coin. These niggas pop, my money keep growing. Your girl is a dot, she all on my groin. She blowing my horn, we fuck with porn. These rappers is whack, they lyrics are corn. I'm getting this money.
Oh yeah, it's your boy Crypto Blood, man. Welcome to another episode of Off the Chain, episode 89. We're gonna get it cracking here in a minute. Make sure you guys start hitting those thumbs up. That's important. Let's go. We got Rice in the building, and my guy Crypto Keeper is going to be off the chain. Let's go.
Stacking my coin, stacking my coin, stacking my coin, stacking my coin. Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, cash. Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, cash. Stacking my coin, stacking my coin, stacking my coin, stacking my coin. Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, cash. Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, cash.
Tonight we're going to be talking about SBF. I know we're getting sick of it, but man, every time I turn around, I'm seeing something new about this guy in FTX and what is going on. It looks like the FBI at least is starting to allude to the fact that SBF might have been the catalyst to tear down Terra Luna. So we're going to take a look at that tonight. We got more Twitter files leaked. That is an interesting whole Pandora's box we're going to open tonight. Also, ChatGPT. We're going to talk about that, the new AI bot from OpenAI. What does this mean for us as content creators, as people that work in white collar jobs? I mean, this can really have some huge ramifications. They're talking about this actually eliminating Google search in the next 2 years. Can you believe it? I can. Polygon also doing another big move with Starbucks. We're going to talk about that. Kevin O'Leary, that scumbag. Yeah, he's back in the news, of course, regarding FTX. All that coming up, though, today, guys. Again, like, share, and subscribe. We're going to get cracking here in a second. Holla!
Litecoin, Ethereum, cash. Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, cash. Stacking my coin, stacking my coin, stacking my coin, stacking my coin. Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, cash. Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, cash. Since I was born, been stacking my coin. These niggas pop, my money keep growing. Your girl is a dot, she all on my groin. She blowing my horn, we fuck with porn. These rappers is whack, they lyrics are corn. I'm getting this money, it never get born. I'm loading my strap, they calling law. Fuck around on your clap, for running your job. If it ain't about the dollars, then it don't make sense. Got me sipping brown water, but it ain't from Flint. Trying to chase all this bread, though the shit won't last. About to shut the city down like the crypto crash. Stacking my coin, stacking my coin, stacking my coin, stacking my coin. Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, cash. Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, cash. Stacking my coin, stacking my coin, stacking my coin, stacking my coin. Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, cash, cash.
Fuck it! Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
Okay. Ready?
Fucking thing sucks! We'll do it live.
Okay.
Litecoin, Ethereum, cash. Stacking my coin, stacking my coin, stacking my coin, stacking my coin. Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, cash, cash.
Let's get
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 89 of Off the Chain. Man, I got two of my favorites in the building with us today. Make sure you guys go follow them. Link in the description below for those guys. Let me bring them in. We got Keeper in the middle. We got Rice on the right. Let's get it cracking. What's going on, fellas? How are you? Let's unmute. Gotta unmute you. There we go. All right, there we go. What's up, fellas?
Rice, you beat me to the unmute. So why don't you go blood? You want off the soundboard?
Oh yeah. There we go.
Yeah. That's all I heard. Yeah. It's good to be on, man. Looking forward to the conversation. The three of us, I always enjoy.
Absolutely.
I like the real conversation that happens between the three.
Here, I'm actually going to say we're live streaming too on Rice TVX.
Yes. Is it working?
Yeah, it is working. And
okay,
I'm going to be
great.
live on Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time on this channel called Debate Crypto with this dude that happens to be in the middle here. We got the cream in the middle, basically.
Cream, but you're cream too, so I'm not understanding.
I'm the albino. It's just.
You're albino. You're albino black. Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Glad I got the message.
So where can they find you, Rice? Real quick, let's get that shilling going on. Rice Against the Grain.
Yeah,
love
pretty
the
much
name.
everywhere. Rice TVX, and I just want to let people know too. I have two YouTube channels now. So in addition to Rice TVX, I have Rice Against the Grain, which is a non-crypto channel that covers all the other stuff that I covered before on the Stranger Than Fiction content. So follow me on social media. Check out both channels, and also make sure you're following myself and Blood. I'm not sure if Debate Crypto's on Rumble yet. If not, they should be, and follow me and Blood there.
They've got something else brewing. I don't know if he's privy to talk about it yet, but Nick, what's going on with you, bro?
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me on. Super excited about the show today. You can follow us on all of our socials. The easiest way, quite honestly, is to go onto our YouTube, which is Debate Crypto, or onto Twitter, and all of our links are there. So all of our socials, we got Danger Close Alpha is our NFT project. We got Debate Crypto, as you can see there. Follow us on all the socials. We appreciate it. But what you were alluding to was Crusader and I are trying to do just a private website and do a stream with the chat, the whole deal, so that we can have the conversations that the three of us really want to have and not have to self-censor, because you already know that's what we like to do. So we're going to start that once a week.
You should have been told me that, because that's something that I've been advertising that I'm doing. I'm getting us a website built that's going to be replacing my Patreon. Okay. Because I'm trying to get rid of points of failure where people can take me out. So I'm actually going to be utilizing private servers and private hosting, not using hosting services. So that way I don't have any sort of ways for agencies or whatever to say, we don't want this guy on the internet. Into services.
Yeah, you might want to get with Nick, because I didn't know Miguel was a programmer. So
we briefly had this discussion. Rice and I did. It was brief. It was a little while ago. But yeah, no, we're definitely going to do it. We're trying with the NFT stuff going on, and just kind of then we had Thanksgiving, and then the event down in Miami. Now we're coming up on Christmas. We're trying to figure out a good spot. It'll probably be right after the start of the new year.
Highlight 150's comment there real quick. And
I already got it. Yep, I already got
it pulled up so that we can promote it, because we're both participating in this.
Yeah, pull that up for us, Rice, if you can. Crypto Mindset Reset. I had a great 30-minute conversation with our guy out in Vegas, Mike. Life Size Box. He goes by online, but I will be on there. I don't know if Nick, you're going to be a part of it or not. Not sure, but I know Rice. He might not even be aware of it. Wow. Okay.
But after this, there's going to be a lot more events, and I'm sure that we'll get Nick involved in the future. But it's happening this Tuesday and Wednesday. It's a free conference. It's completely free. There is a VIP package that you can use. I'm sure Blood has a code for it. It's virtual.
Oh, I see Virtual Summit.
The Virtual Summit, and it's all about kind of getting back to kind of the cypherpunk ideals, the original vision of Satoshi, talking about privacy, things to that effect. You can go down and look at some of the speakers and some of the sponsors at the event. Paul Play, the CEO and founder of Edge Wallet, is going to be doing the kickoff keynote speech. So I think me and Blood are going to be doing a panel together on Tuesday. Not sure the time yet, but it's going to be going on, I believe, 12 to 8 Eastern time, PM, and 9 to 5 Pacific time, Tuesday and Wednesday. It's free to attend, But
we're definitely going to get in and check it out, no doubt. If you guys are speaking, that's easy for me. And then yeah, for sure. So just give me the info afterwards, and we'll definitely jump in for sure.
Sweet.
Yeah, next time I didn't even I never even put 2 and 2 together to think that Mike even knew Nick like that. So Nick is definitely debate crypto. The whole team.
There's a lot of people that should have been included and stuff.
Should be part of it.
I was trying to let Mike do his thing with this and see how it turned out with the first go around, and then start trying to make suggestions. I mean, I made some suggestions in the beginning, and this is his thing along with the team that he's working with. I believe Aaron and Bobcat. I'm not sure who else is helping, but yeah, I mean, I just basically try to support as much as I can, and then see how it goes, and then offer up some suggestions on improvements, because I know they want to continue doing these things more long term.
Right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you know how it goes for Off the Chain. It is usually a 2-hour just powwow, real talk to the best of our abilities, because, you know, we still got to watch those censorship bots out there. But we are going to be going head first into the topics tonight. As you guys saw in the thumbnail, I'm just going to bring that up again. We're going to be talking about primarily a lot of FTX stuff. But at the tail end, stay around, because we're going to get into some more Twitter files that have been leaked. And I think we're going to have an excellent conversation regarding that topic. It is, I mean, finally, bro, like, I'm not crazy. You know, I knew I wasn't crazy. But now for sure, I know I wasn't crazy.
I've been talking about being shadow banned for I don't know how
forever,
long, man. So
forever.
I mean, it's sour. It's a sour feeling to feel slightly vindicated. You know, saying what I've been saying, people looking at my content and understanding that I actually have some legitimacy, and complaining about being highly censored and shadow banned, fighting against the algorithm. That's why I tell people, for all of us, to make sure that they're hitting the like button, commenting on videos, sharing, make sure they're subscribed, hit the notification bell, because all of those things help us to push through the algorithm, which is already set to go against us.
You know, I talked to Hotep out in Miami, and if any of y'all don't follow Hotep, that's my boy. He's just fantastic, and he talks about some real things like the three of us like to talk about. And I told him that I thought the Debate Crypto was probably on one of those little lists, because at the end of the day, we try to have these real conversations, right? Question that narrative. And one of the things that he did say to me, and it's encouraging, but at the same time, it's still hard to chew on. He said, you know what? That means you're doing something right. That means you're speaking truth. So keep doing your thing, bro. Your community will grow. It's just going to take you longer.
It'll take a longer time.
But you're not going to sacrifice. I think he said something to the effect of, you're not going to sacrifice who you are, which is what makes your channel what it is. And
it's quality. I like that, quality over quantity, man. Yeah. I'd
rather
have what I have the numbers.
I do sometimes wonder why some controversial channels do get through. And do gain the traction. It's not like all of them. Maybe they just do a random to make it seem like it's not shadow banning. They just let chosen ones, or just random,
or controlled opposition, or all of the above.
And I also think that part of it, you know, we speak a lot in the financial sector. So whenever there's money involved and we're trying to speak truth, I think that combination is a tough pill for the, you know, opposition, if you will, the ops to swallow. So
yeah.
That's kind of what I think.
Yeah. Well, again, stay tuned to the end, because we're going to talk about the Twitter files, more news, more things, evidence revealed. I think today we're going to specifically talk about some of the Trump stuff. I'm going to read through the thread, which is crazy. But let's get into it, guys. I want to start off with crypto.com, because, you know, this statement, or this news article, I'll let you guys talk about it first, and then I'll give my 2 Satoshis on it. But crypto.com releases proof of reserves, and they have it all broken down here. They said some of their reserves are oversubscribed. Bitcoin 102%, ETH 101, USDC 102. I don't know what these oversubscribed numbers mean, but they're just saying basically they're over collateralized. And is this a step in the right direction, do you guys feel like, or is this insufficient for crypto.com to be doing this?
Go ahead,
how would you feel now seeing this debate? Crypto?
I think, honestly, everybody's going to have to do something like this if they're going to want to continue to operate, because of the question of who has contagion and exposure to FTX or Alameda, who's possibly over leveraged and possibly insolvent, and what is the word that I'm looking for? Rehypothecation, where you're, like, because even with FTX, we found that there was no Bitcoin involved. So all the Bitcoin that was being traded was just poker chip versions of Bitcoin, FTT wrap Bitcoin, if you want to call it that.
Right.
But the thing that's, I hate even saying this, but with these entities doing their, from what it looks like from this article, their own audit situation, their own transparent situation, it says it was conducted by Mazar Group. Okay, so there was, I was curious if there really was a third-party audit, because as much of a fan as I'm not of third parties and intermediaries, in this particular situation, I'm not going to trust any entity that's doing a proof of reserves and just showing what they have on their balance sheet without someone else verifying it. It's don't trust, verify, and it's unfortunately third-party audits and things like that are going to be the ways that we're going to be able to trust.
So you want to know why I think that it is a play to make you feel better? The main reason I think is because, okay, it's one thing for me to show you my balance sheet as it relates to, let's just use not even a Web3 company. Let's just use like a Web2, my construction company, for example. I can show you my balance sheet and show you, hey, I have all of these reserves. But if you don't know what my liabilities look like, those reserves don't mean anything. They literally mean
that's where I was
nothing.
going with it.
They don't. I mean, because look, you're 102%, you're over collateralized here, 106, 110, whatever the case may be. But what happens when you're 600, 6,000% over leveraged as it relates to your debt, to your liabilities? They're not showing that. So for this to actually be something that you could look at and say, okay, I'm on board, it would need to be a full financial audit showing those liabilities as well. The thing is, that's not going to happen. The reason that's not going to happen is because now you're opening up the books on the inner workings of a business, how they make money. You're also opening up the books to, hey, using OPM, other people's money, and you'll start to see a common thread of where this money is coming from in multiple different, places. And all of a sudden you start to see, in
addition to that, Nick, private companies don't have to. They don't. They're not obligated to show you balance sheets. That's kind of one of the benefits of being a private company.
Yep.
Now, if you're a public company, Enzo asked, is Coinbase, the U.S. company, going to show proof of reserves? Well, they have to show proof of balance sheet. They're publicly traded, so every quarter. Yeah, they have to show.
Yes, that is the difference. That's a good point. It's a public company. It's going to have to be transparent with what they're doing versus a private company that doesn't. But if you're a private company and you operate an exchange right now, in today's day and age of crypto, you're going to need to prove that you're liquid.
Yeah, so that now, I mean, to me, that just adds really, like, them doing this, you would think is a show of good faith. But honestly, it's not, because it tells me if you don't go a step further, as Nick, you stated, if you don't show us a balance sheet, then now what are you hiding?
Well, Sean said proof of liabilities. That's a good. I like that.
Proof of liabilities. I like that. Absolutely. Yeah, Sean C., I wanted to bring up his comment here. Proof of reserves is a good step, but we also need proof of liabilities to get a full picture of the company's liquidity. Very true, and that was my whole point on that one. So I'm glad to see all of you kind of feeling the same way. It doesn't really, in my opinion, help me. I use crypto.com. That's the one that I use. I don't use pretty much anything else when it comes to trying to go from fiat to crypto.
I would just also, the other thing too is making sure that people aren't commingling funds, because I'm sure that what is dealing with the credit card aspect of crypto.com versus other different parts of the company should be separated. It shouldn't be all in one big purse like apparently FTX was doing, without separating funds, where a general user of the platform was still put at the same risk as somebody who might have been a margin trader, because of the fact that all the funds were in one location too. So that would be the other thing that I would add.
So I want to ask both of you guys, who do you use for your crypto to debit card platform?
Man,
just to give some of the audience some alpha if you have any.
Yeah, ultimately, I've tried a number of them. I've never been somebody to keep a lot of you know, stuff on exchange, money on exchanges. I've been guilty
Right.
before of putting more than, you know, than I wanted to, but ultimately most of my stuff's on hardware wallets. Now, the reality is for me, especially now, and this is just me, you know, being extra cautious. The only exchange or exchanges that I feel are going to be able to weather this storm are going to be the chosen ones. I use Coinbase. Their fees suck. So for any of you looking for, you know, hey, that well, Keeper uses, you know, Coinbase, so that's got to be a good option. Listen, only reason I'm using Coinbase and saying it's a good option is because A, they literally are instant, and I haven't had issues. I have talked to my bank prior, but I had to talk to my bank prior and said, hey, listen, I'll be using Coinbase to get in and out of. The bank literally told me, okay, but Coinbase, and please don't be using, literally, please don't be using anyone else. So I'm not trying to get my account
Wow.
shut down. I've had to play ball as it relates to that. And so, you know, I've also used as just an exchange to get some off the fringe kind of assets of BitTrue. But BitTrue is a Singaporean exchange, and they their fees are even higher than Coinbase for us. So I like Coinbase because I as much as you can trust. That's where my current trust is.
Surprisingly enough, I'm with you on that. Rice, what are your options?
Well, I know that you use crypto.com with the credit card, and I do that with Coinbase. I like
Okay.
Coinbase with the credit card because I don't have to sell any crypto. It's kind of all on as it goes, so I could take advantage and ride the volatility. Now, I've used BitPay. They're a good platform. They seem to be very transparent about everything that they are doing. But you would have to sell your crypto in advance to use it on your card. So you would have to sell X amount of crypto to have X amount of cash available on your card. Blockchain.com is supposed to be offering a Visa card here soon.
Yeah, I heard about that partnership.
And then
I'm gonna have to
unbanked.
give
Well,
me one.
Visa is going to be working with a lot of people, but unbanked, formerly Turnio, I know that one of the guys from the company went down to visit Hit Network and BitBoy Studio and was on one of the BitBoy live streams in the morning, Thursday or Friday. And they're very transparent about what they're doing in light of everything that's going on. They've been kind of transparent in the past. They work with a lot of companies, like the Litecoin card is issued through them. So all the people in the Litecoin community that are using the Litecoin card, it's through unbanked. So that's a good entity as well. But I haven't used unbanked, so I can't say if you have to pre-sell your crypto or if it takes it out on the spot. So that's the reason I like the Coinbase option. Also, Coinbase's customer service absolutely sucks, but they actually have customer service for their card. Because I've had some issues. They have a number you can call. They have regular business hours. It's a separate entity. So I'm imagining the funds are not commingled either. And with the Coinbase card in particular, I can earn rewards. And most of the cards are going to be offering rewards. Most of them are 1%. But with Coinbase, you can change your rewards up, and you can earn up to 4% back right now, I think, with Stellar. And you can earn 1% with Polygon, 1.5% with Bitcoin. I think that's currently what they're offering, but it changes up every 28 days. But you get to earn back, which is pretty nice. And if you use that in combination with other platforms like Lolly and Fold and some of these different platforms that offer gift card services, you can kind of double up, triple up, quadruple dip, which is always nice.
We've got Dave. So this is a good point. Dialer Turden is making here. Cracking customer service is the best. Only issue is withdrawing fiat. You have to ACH. Yeah, that's no good. I mean, if you want your stuff instantly or you're out.
But Kraken is a good, reputable exchange. I would think that they're going to survive through this. I know a friend of mine that works there. I know they cut a lot of their customer service and employee, I think like 40% of their employees. But a friend of mine does high-end, high-quality with a lot of big money customers. They're good to go. I would even think Gemini is going to be safe because what they were doing with Genesis for the Earn program was something completely separate. And I would think they have, being any entity that's gone through the process in New York to actually get a bit license, I don't think it's going to have any problem with operating.
With liquidity. No, not at all.
And just to kind of end off on a good note with the exchanges. The reality is, if you're using an exchange, it's called an exchange. So why are we, just kind of a thought, why are we not
Yep.
using it for that? And so for me, hardware wallet, I know that's an OG crypto thing to do. You're going to be your own bank, this, that, and the third. But guess what? The hardware wallet's going to cost you a lot less than leaving your funds on these exchanges and finding out later.
But Nick,
crap.
it's not an OG move. That's the fundamental move. That's
Agreed.
what we all should be doing. New,
Agreed.
old, in between.
Agreed.
There is no reason why this new technology that has been gifted to us, whether it's CIA, FBA, FBI, whatever alphabet you want to use, we all should be taking control of our own keys, because then it's our own cheese. Go ahead.
You sacrifice.
Rice.
Oh, sorry, Rice. Just
good?
real quick. You sacrifice doing it that way. The only thing that you do sacrifice is convenience, but that convenience is something that I believe should be sacrificed. You just need to be prepared for the fact that, hey, I've got to do an extra step, but at the end of the day, I'm controlling my own funds, and that's where it's at.
Mm-hmm.
The thing I was going to add, Daddy-O said, don't overload your Litecoin card as you don't own your keys. Now, I haven't used unbanked to see how it works, but with BitPay, I can say that you do have your private keys to your crypto. It's once you sell it, it gets dumped into where it could be used on the card. So you still have control of your crypto as long as you don't sell it. I can't back that up for blockchain, but the blockchain wallet itself is a decentralized wallet that you have your private keys to. So I would imagine it's the same thing that BitPay does. Coinbase, on the other hand, is completely custodial. There is no private key involved, so that would be very similar to unbanked if that's the situation. So just pay attention.
I don't know what David is saying. What his question is?
I do.
And if you know about CB Plaid, what is that?
I do. Plaid is just their it is their little intermediary.
Oh,
basically.
are you talking about the portal, the gateway company?
It's their payment processor. Like I'm trying to think of a good example. Kind of like give me a good one, guys.
I'm saying, so David, I don't know what you want us to talk about. I'm familiar with Plaid. I've used them back when I had my tech startup.
Yeah, you're linking your bank account via that third party,
right.
And the third party is effectively there's a small fee in incurred there. But it's supposed to be pretty quick. I just don't know about the security of it. It makes me a little bit nervous introducing another company into my banking. But
it just allows for people to accept crypto, but on the back end they get the fiat.
Mm-hmm.
If I understand that correctly.
Okay,
I don't know what
Coinbase is not requiring it.
BitPay gives you that option as well. BitPay as a vendor, you can choose to have it. Let's say I want to pay in Bitcoin, so AT&T accepts Bitcoin, accepts BitPay. Basically, anything through BitPay you can do, but they're going to convert it on the back end. AT&T is not accepting the cryptocurrency.
Right.
So that's something too that people should be aware of.
Yeah. And if they're requiring it, that must have just happened because I made a move not too long ago and used Coinbase, and I didn't have to do anything with Plaid, but that might have just happened.
I might have, and I never really realized it. I like Dr. Moda's comment. Actually, when I saw Brittany Griner, I thought it was BTC Weatherman. If anybody knows what I'm talking about, Tim. And he was good friends with Annalise. He was good friends with Annalise. He looks just like her. Or they? It's
not a bad.
Annalise is not a bad look, low key. I just kind of, I don't know why. They just had a channel together
in Miami. It was bits and tokens. And
you're not hearing what I'm saying, but
whatever. I heard it. I got
it. You weren't there, but you know what I'm talking about.
I got it.
All right, so look, I have to echo. Unfortunately, I have to echo what Rice and Nick mentioned here, guys. The safest route is going to be through Coinbase, because Coinbase is a publicly traded company. They have to disclose everything. So if you want to know if a company is solvent,
though we're not 100%, because banks at this point, banks could go down, and we think banks are good. Banks,
not with the new regulatory guidelines they got. I don't think so. They got to do the Basel III stuff and all of that.
I can't say anything custodial right now is 100%, and I'm only leaving what I need.
I hear you.
To use.
I can agree with you on that.
I'm not putting.
But I would say out of all exchanges on the crypto space, Coinbase, unfortunately, I have to say the government exchange is where it needs to go. But I want to ask you guys, because everyone is saying the same thing, and it seems to me they're doing the they're actually how can I put this? Their plan is being executed. What I mean by that is they're funneling all of us into Coinbase, into the Kraken seems to be one of those exchanges that might be leaving the U.S. But ways to identify and pretty much ring fence the on and off ramps, Nick. So how do you feel about that, Rice?
I think I can
take your time there, brother.
I think I can talk. MetaMask. And,
hold it, son. Hold it.
MetaMask and Uniswap, I believe, now have some tracking mechanisms that can attach your IP to what you're doing with your activity. So even something that in combination of Coinbase, and then something I can, and any custodial and centralized service.
Your hardware wallets too, guys.
They know, like, but
also,
if you buy a wallet, they don't know your wallet addresses or anything like that, but they know that you purchased the wallet.
They track your IPs.
That doesn't mean.
But they also log your IPs too, Rice. You know that, right?
I'm saying that's what chain analysis is all about.
Yeah.
So there's ways that it's not the easiest thing, and everything is on chain and transparent. It's pseudo anonymous, so it's not like you can get away with all this crazy stuff on Bitcoin. There's privacy coins if that's what you want to do. If you want to use something like Pirate Chain or Monero, those are those ways of being able to try to obfuscate and hide, have more privacy with what you're doing with your transactions, regardless of what you want the privacy for. But otherwise, yeah. I mean, so one thing I'll also tell people, and I think I told you this story, I had before Coinbase had added USDT to their wallet and made it available for any sort of trading, I accidentally sent some USDC to a USDT address, which is the same address because it's an Ethereum address, because they're both ERC20 tokens. I didn't have any access to it. Then finally, after they added USDT, it just automatically showed up in my account, which was great. But when I looked at the transaction history, the sending address where it came from
failed it.
No, it showed the actual address, but it also said KuCoin. So it identified that I sent this from an exchange to Coinbase. So I automatically Coinbase through my through my KYC, and then sending something to KuCoin, they could attach and know that KuCoin account was mine without me even doing a thing. They already have the information. They already know it. So people.
I just want to really quickly. This is
so
not on
multiple wallets.
Yeah. Honestly, though, at the end of the day, you got to use something that is now banned in the U.S. and is on the sanctions list. I won't say what, but that's
interestingly enough. This is another discussion, but CoinJoin has not been attacked yet, and I'm curious about that.
Why do you think? I
don't know.
Because it's
maybe
traceable.
Maybe it doesn't do what it's supposed to do.
There you go. You got to read between the lines, ladies and gentlemen.
Mixer service. If people are not familiar with what we're talking about, this is some old school OG talk that the government does not want people to know about. Yeah, that's why. That's why right now we have the developer of Tornado Cash locked up in a facility, and we have Sam Bankman-Fried who defrauded millions out of billions of dollars, just chilling free.
Very true.
Also, I got to remind people that
at the crypto mine reset.
Russ Albrecht, he's got 2 fucking life sentences for building a website, and this motherfucker who defrauded billions is just free. It's a travesty.
So I will say, I was, kind of second guessing CoinJoin and why, you were saying why they aren't on the list. We're gonna at Crypto Mindset Reset. There's going to be a guy that will be talking about Monero. He's going to be poking holes in the Monero coin protocol. So you guys should definitely tune in on that one. I have my suspicions about some of these anonymous coins as well. So I'm very interested to hear what he has to say about that. But let me just really quickly, off topic, because I saw this great comment from Voice Crypto. Shout out to my YouTube member. We traded John Wick for Brittany Griner.
Oh, listen,
shake my head.
Listen. I'm going to say as much as I can without saying anything, but what I want to say is this, right?
Oh, God.
Okay, so let's even say I could get past the fact that they left a United States Marine over there and traded a WNBA female basketball. I don't care that she's a
lesbian.
An
LGBTQ
black female who broke a freaking listen. You can't
multiple times.
Well, but hold on.
Yeah.
You can't have mushrooms in the United States. But you can have mushrooms in Amsterdam. Go ahead and go through the airport with mushrooms in the United States. You broke the freaking law, right? So it doesn't matter that we don't look at it as a big deal. They do. So let's even get past that. Okay, fine. We're going to make a trade. Now, I don't ever want to hear the Dems ever again talk about gun control. Never once, ever again are you going to talk about it, and I'm going to tell you why. If you are sending billions of dollars over to Ukraine and arms, right, to arm them, and at the same time, you are trading Brittany Griner for a Russian arms dealer, somebody whose main agenda was to kill people with firearms.
John Wick,
obviously
baby.
Are not against, you are not for the same gun control that you're speaking. So any of you Dems
Vladimir
out there,
Wyckoff. That's the John Wick version of it. Vladimir Wyckoff.
It's chaotic at best, man, and it's sad because ultimately we are doing exactly. It is a political play, but it's a weak one at that. And if people don't see through the thin veil here, they are blind and asleep at the wheel. Period.
Hey, man, I just wonder if he, she, it were a white male Republican.
There's one over there. He did the exact same thing. I forget the guy's name. Do you know the guy's
black
name?
male Republican, would he be getting out right now?
Do you know the other guy's name? I can't think of his name right now. There's somebody else that did the exact same thing. He's a middle-aged white man. He's doing 14 years, and he's there. Not talking about the Marine. I'm talking about somebody.
Wow, I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
I forget his name.
Didn't Putin say he was up for releasing more prisoners?
I don't know. Well, what are we going to do? Keep trading for like the most notorious freaking, these trades are fucking fantastic. Excuse my mouth. These trades are fantastic for the Russians. I mean, let's just get all the terrorists out of prison that we can and ship them back, and then they'll just give us a basketball.
So then they can come back. They can come back over here. Do
it again.
And do it all over again.
Free Brittany.
It's so
free Brittany.
Yeah.
If it wasn't sad,
this is crazy, bro.
So sad, it would be funny. If it really wasn't so sad, it would be funny.
Yeah, you gotta laugh sometime. Let me move on to Daily Coin. I'm starting to become even more bullish and more impressed with Polygon. Their price has stayed pretty subdued and underperforming as of late. To be honest with you, I think everything is really getting hit pretty hard in this crypto bear market. But Polygon announces another collaboration, this time with Starbucks. They're doing a reward program. I think it's called Journey or Starbucks Odyssey. Let's start with you, Rice. I know you're not really specifically focused on particular coins, but what's your take on Polygon I
like Polygon, formerly Matic. I've had a couple of the founders on my channel before, like it really blew up a couple years ago. Made some really good investments with the project. It does a good job at what it's serving to do, and it is centralized. That is one of the things. I'm not a huge fan of centralization, but there's a time and a place, and it works for what they're trying to do. But people need to realize that. One of the things that I always like to remind people of is when you create coins, you have some sort of project keys, and usually when a project is decentralized, they take those keys and they'll put them in and distribute them in a multi-signature wallet so that nothing can be done to the project. Nobody can have, because with it's like a central key to get into what's going on. And I believe the Polygon team still has access to that information. But again, I'm supportive of the project. It is a good second layer solution for what Ethereum's trying to do, and Ethereum's not going anywhere. And if we're, looking at the success of what Solana had, I really feel like Polygon can pick up a lot of the slack from where projects are going to be moving. I think Polygon is going to benefit as a second layer solution, and then I think layer one blockchains, especially Cardano, are going to benefit from the Solana.
The only thing I'm concerned about with Polygon is its shelf life. It's half-life. Because at some point, the whole goal of going to ETH2 is for them to be able to scale on chain at some point. Whether it be a year, 2, 3, or 4, right? But then that still puts a limit on But I
And
mean,
still
4
think there'll be
years
a
is.
use case for it. I still think that there'll be a utility and a use case. You can't.
I don't think
bombard
so.
The main chain with everything. Period. You're not going to be able to do that. For the
Well,
scalability
if
aspect,
you
will take place.
no, but the thing is, Rice, if you implement scaling how it's supposed to be done, it won't bombard the layer 1, layer 0. So I don't know. I don't know if I agree with you on that one.
So far,
Nick.
I haven't seen them deliver on what they've claimed they were going to do. Because I mean, technically, we should be a lot further along with Ethereum 2 as well.
Absolutely.
Based off the original roadmap.
Absolutely.
Information.
I mean,
in the comments, guys.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
No. You said in the comments. What's up?
Yeah, I was gonna say in the comments, guys. Let us know if you're concerned about Polygon's future, like its half-life. Is it something that you're thinking about? Press put in there 1 if you are, 0 if you're not, and you feel like Rice that there's still gonna be a need for Polygon in some form or fashion after Ethereum scales. Nick, what's going on?
Yeah, so I think at the end of the day, I'm a huge ETH bull. So anything built on top of ETH that works well, I'm here for it because I think it's part of that layer 2 solution. Fantastic. At the point that we're talking about what you are, Blood, where literally, let's just say ETH functions as Polygon, my gosh, the crypto space will have accelerated to massive new heights. And I would believe that Polygon obviously has looked at that, and I would think that they have a pivot point. I would believe that any company, these are all small or medium or large businesses, they have a pivot point or have a solution, because guess what? You're probably not the only person to ask that, okay? And you have to believe that there's some very smart people that would ask the same question to Polygon, and there's some big companies getting involved. There's no way these companies are wanting to get involved in the way that they are, knowing that it's going to be dead soon. So they either know something that we don't know, or they have some sort of a backup or a pivot point to move forward and press forward. And I'm telling you, Polygon is so fast and so cheap. If we get ETH to that point, I mean, good God, I know it doesn't matter what the utility itself actually does, because as per the price, but that price should be absolutely ripping and running when we're able to do that, because then transactions are almost free. And
shout out to Woo.
You know what I mean?
That's a good comment.
Yeah, good comment. Good comment there. Question to you, Nick. Were you referring to Trevor Reed over in Russia, or who was that? That name sounds familiar.
I would need to look him up. There is a middle-aged man. He got caught with less than an ounce of marijuana in the airport. The exact same thing that she does. He's a middle-aged white man, and he got 14 years. I think he's already served a couple of years. I don't know his name.
Blood. The only thing that sucks
up,
about
Rice?
on the live stream thing is that my live chat doesn't come through on your live chat, so you don't get to see it. So I'm popping in periodically to check mine. I got Sam Bankman-Fried in my live chat.
Oh, that's fantastic. He's been in ours too. We're gonna be visiting.
I've had Gary Gensler in mine. I'm feeling very important.
But now I got Sam Bankman-Fried talking about Solana's the future.
What did SBF say?
Hey, Blood, check out the private chat for me when you get a second. I just let you know.
See, Solana's the future.
Oh yeah. Listen, SBF, if he's up in the chat, he's been running his mouth everywhere else. So
shout out, man. SBF, I want an interview, man. I've been tweeting at you. Hit me up. Let's do that interview.
That's funny, bro. That is hilarious.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. I again, it's just great seeing the different aspects and perspectives on Polygon, because Voice Crypto says Polygon is a trap. Too many competitors coming. Arbitrum, ZK Sync, et cetera, et cetera. And I agree. Like, there are a whole bunch of blockchains out there at the base level that are faster than Ethereum right now and have the capacity and throughput capabilities.
It's money, and Polygon has set themselves up to have a lot of money to be able to grant and work with these projects.
Yeah, clearly. I mean, they're knocking down these major deals for sure.
All these layer 1 blockchains, even second layer solutions, are all trying to have grants where they can pay people to come build on their blockchains.
Yeah, there's a reason for it.
Yeah,
these companies aren't stupid.
Yeah,
there's a reason for it.
I mean, and Polygon's inked the deal with Nike. They've inked the deal with Meta, which is Facebook. So they do have the first movers advantage, if you want to think of it in that regard. So I can definitely understand you guys, definitely. Let me see what some of these comments say. too much competition in the market now for Matic. In the end, Cardano will be the winner.
So Cardano is not a second layer
But
solution.
yeah, I was
for
about to say,
Ethereum.
that's not
Cardano is
apples
its
to
own.
apples.
Cardano is a straight competitor.
Yeah, but you don't. Again, I see what he's saying. I don't necessarily agree with Cardano being
He's saying the layer
winner.
2s are going to basically go away when the layer 1s get so effective.
That's what I think what he's saying. That's where
but I still think we're long. Even if you look at Cardano's roadmap, we're still a long ways off from a lot of things taking place. I mean, we're very early in this technology.
Not to assume that regulation hasn't kicked in and kicked everybody out of here. So who knows?
I'm ready to leave, though. I'm ready to leave. I am getting my passport, and then I'm looking into second citizenships, and I'm going to be working on my law stuff. And if that doesn't work, I'm just going to fucking expatriate. This country keeps going down the toilet like it is.
Hey, I'm with it, bro. I'm with it.
Viva la Mexico.
I'm going to keep my comments to myself. On live stream.
You don't even live in the United States, dude. You're live streaming from Africa.
That's right.
Why I gotta be from Africa? Why can't I be from Scandinavia? One of them Scandinavian countries.
From New Zealand. I don't
know.
understand.
I'm a racist, man.
Right. Why couldn't I be a aboriginary from New England?
I'm a fucking racist.
You're a racist.
I know.
I love you, man.
All right, so Sandman said, do you think Digibyte will ever get any traction or get any developers to go over to it without any funding? No, I don't. And that Digibyte, in my opinion, Sandman, is a prime example of being too decentralized. So again, I think there has to be a happy medium that you find with the project. Digibyte is so decentralized and so fragmented that they can't get enough funding and the momentum. As to Rice's point, Polygon, highly centralized. You see what kind of deals they're inking. Nike, Graph, the list goes on, and now Starbucks. So it's just, you got to pick your poison, I guess, at this point.
Litecoin, I think, is another great example in comparison to Digibyte. They're both OGs. They both do a great job at what they have done. But Litecoin has a foundation. You know, a lot of people bitch about Charlie Lee selling his bag, but a lot of that money went to the Litecoin Foundation, which allowed for marketing and things like that. And that was done in a centralized way so that there could be promotion done for this decentralized blockchain. But yeah, foundations, I think, are very important. And I think that should have been something that it's still possible. People come together and do it. But yeah, I agree. Too decentralized.
Yeah.
That's crazy to even
I agree.
say that.
So isn't that crazy? Enso said, are you guys auto DCAing? If so, how often do you take your coins off?
I am not.
Keeper, you want to start with that?
Yeah, I'm not auto DCAing. It is a great thing to do. Obviously, we're not here for financial advice. We're not financial advisors. However, I like the idea of doing the auto DCA. The only reason that I'm not auto DCAing is because, well, there's two reasons. One, because most everything that I'm getting into is Ethereum based, and with our NFTs, we do have some, Ethereum coming in from that. So that's one piece of it. Second thing is three things, I guess. Second thing is my entries have been low enough that I feel that I really need, with as much as I've amassed, whatever the case may be, I still want to continue to stack, but I need to be particular with my entries when I'm actually going. Thirdly, being in the construction business, my money is up, down, up, down, up, down. And so for me, doing something solid all the time is just not really how I would feel good about doing it. It just doesn't make sense for my financials. Yeah.
Rice.
What was the question?
Are you auto DCA? Like, are you allowing?
I totally agree with what you said. As far, I don't. It's a great idea. I don't think that it's a bad idea, but I'm at a point where I'm looking at, like you, at specific price targets, and then taking a.
You're so rich. You're not buying. You're selling.
I'm obviously not so rich, and I'm selling. Can you pull up this website that I've got shared?
Yeah.
This is dollar cost average DCABTC.com. It's just specifically for Bitcoin. But let's say you did $10. Let's change this up. We're going to do $15 weekly starting 3 years ago, not comparing it to any other assets. So just $15 every week, no matter what the price of Bitcoin was. You would have invested starting, and this is 3 years ago, $2,355. Your $2,355 investment would today be worth $4,963. And that is a 110.75% increase. Now, this is a 3-year deal. So
And that's what the price is in the tank.
The strategy works the best. Now, if you take this back a year, okay, so now a year ago we had all-time highs. You take this back a year, you're actually down $10. Unless you bought at the all-time high at your starting point or around your starting point, then you're going to be in a profit when it comes to a dollar cost average strategy, period. But you got to have patience with it. It's going to be more of like what I compared the first time with 3 years. And this is a great website just to show people the benefit, because 100, you just doubled your money. 3 years, you doubled your money. Is there anything else that you know that you can do doubling your money in a 3-year time period, aside from actively trading and things like that? This doesn't take anybody could do this. Anybody.
Yep.
And I think Robert Beadle's actually got the patent on recurring payments in crypto.
Yeah. And then,
shout out to Beatles. I talked to him. He hit me up randomly over the weekend, Rice.
Okay.
I talked to him for a hot minute. Shout out to Random. It's so crazy you just mentioned his name. I haven't talked to him in.
I've been trying to get him to talk to me, so he must like you better now. And they
hey man, you got to be a Trump supporter, bro. You toe the line with Trump. See, yeah, you know you know how he is. So
I don't support anybody.
I know that's why he's not talking to you. You got to come on over to the red side, baby.
No, like I said, right wing, left wing, same bird.
I love it. Love it.
It's all
I love it.
Same government, big government party. It's all the same fucking shit.
Yeah, no, I hear you, bro. I hear you. Some more
DCA,
questions in here,
BTC.
huh?
And somebody was asking. The website is DCA BTC, like dollar cost average bitcoins. And Red River Post posted it up as well. So that is the website. Share it with your friends, because I'm telling you, it is one of the best resources that I've been able to find with showing people the dollar cost average strategy. It looks even better.
Swap House says DCA greater than leaving it in the bank.
Let's say I do 5 years. I mean, just you get the website pulled up one more time. 5 years.
Do 5 years. Let's bring that up. Let me see that.
Been like a $3,900 investment worth almost $15,000 at 276, almost 277% change.
But you know, I made this comment. They highlighted it on Around the Blockchain the past week. They highlighted the point that I said you're not going to get rich off Bitcoin anymore.
9 years ago, $7,000.
Keeper,
$285,000.
we heard your boy say that out in Miami too. Bitcoin Ben, you know, he made Ben Armstrong made that statement as well, and I shook my head. I'm like,
is that what you just said?
Bitcoin Ben Armstrong. Yep, they had a baby.
Okay, cool. Look at that one there. Look at the 9 year. Look at 9 years, 7,000. You know, from today, $15. 9 years ago, $7,000 investment worth more than $250,000.
Yeah. I mean, the further you go back, the more
the best performing
pronounced that investment is. Right. So, but
now let's just go back. Let's go back and calculate when Blood started buying and see how rich we're going to be. Like, when Blood was buying an $89 Bitcoin, and let's calculate
$89, baby.
See how wealthy we are.
$89. But no, put it 9 years. I've been in it for 9 years. 9 years.
So Blood
has there you go, right there.
$15. He has a 4,000. Yeah, and he's
I put $0 in, bro.
He's balling.
I'm lying. I don't have any Bitcoin.
I talked about all those. Yeah, you talked too much.
I lost it in the.
He was Ross Ulbricht.
Yeah, exactly.
Didn't you lose your hardware wallet with me when we went on that boat in Miami?
See, that's what I'm saying. People don't even know the story.
I had the same freaking thing. I had my private key information written down, my recovery phrases, and my fucking hardware wallets all with me together while we were on a boat at the same time as you, and we had the same thing happen.
Yeah, mine actually happened.
No, real talk. I did lose my stuff, bro, years ago, man.
Real talk, I did too.
Yeah, yep, it happens.
Usually, when people say real talk, they're probably telling falsehoods.
False talk. In my case.
That's what I've always heard.
I'm the exception,
but not in my case either.
That's right.
I'm definitely an exception to the rule. So we got So like I said, Keeper, you were there when Ben made that point, and I'm glad he made that point. He made some other points that I didn't like. They were true, but I'm like, damn, Ben, why you know, come on, man, you made it. You know, you got the other boys. Come on, man. But he did make a case on, you know, if you're thinking about getting rich in crypto, that window is closing more and more.
Yep.
especially on Bitcoin. I think there are some opportunities out there to for you guys to make a lot of money on in the altcoin space, but for Bitcoin, you got to go risk reward. You got to go in big to win big with Bitcoin. In my opinion, you got to have 100,000,
Bitcoin, just a crypto,
200,000 if you want to make a couple million with it.
If you're really gonna make money now, it's risk. It's not before. It kind of like it would almost fall in your lap. Everybody was a good trader, but now I think risk. The people that are willing to really truly take those risks are going to be rewarded for it. But again, that's not something that I would even recommend to people unless you're extremely educated. And you can afford to lose.
Flat smack. We can shut down the stream right now. I mean, I think we've given enough alpha with Flat Smack's comment. Right. The best way to get rich quick is online poker, baby. There you go.
I think we have information in our video description about how you can support our channels individually, Rich Man.
Jason Lynn said, "What's good, fellas? I'm just now tuning in."
By Flat Smack. We all take money.
What I'm looking into using is Pay with Moon. They're basically prepaid debit cards,
and Moon Pay, right? I mean, is he saying Moon Pay?
Moon Pay. You basically can load them with crypto, Bitcoin, or Ethereum. I'm with you. I got to check that one out. I've been hearing about it. Definitely been hearing about it.
I think I don't. There could be something totally different. I was thinking that it's actually MoonPay, unless again it's something totally different. MoonPay they use on OpenSea, and as much as it's not a crypto-centric thing to do, I will tell you that on certain assets, on certain NFTs where you have to do a swap or you have to bridge, ain't nobody got time for that sometimes. So using the MoonPay option is it's there, and I will tell you that as we continue to move farther and farther into the crypto space, he's saying not MoonPay. Okay, well MoonPay is can do something different, but as we move farther and farther into the crypto space, we want to keep that ethos of crypto, but there's going to be a lot of people, I think, within a few years that are going to be using crypto and not truly even understand that they're using crypto because it's all going to be seamless.
Oh, dude, listen to this.
Yeah.
Listen to this, man. I'll show it here. It says, Sam Bankman-Fried says, "You think any of these billionaires getting whacked because of me?"
Got all the alpha.
Bro.
Just gave
hold on, bro. I got
to on the channel, man. SBF just
man,
live chat.
Tell SBF to come on over. Yeah, tell SBF to come on over to Crypto Blood's channel so we can highlight some of his comments.
Come over to Crypto Blood CBTV and get in the comment, and so we can highlight you. And
Enzo it seems like he might be joking, but there's some truth to this, and I want to just kind of extract this one. Fastest way to make big money is start an exchange. Now he's right. That is the way to make millions of dollars in this crypto space.
Create a wallet,
but to go along with that,
and then you get the fees.
Yeah, I mean, you're making pennies off every transaction, right? I mean, it's insane. Spreads off the bid and ask and all that. And then you're charging people to withdraw their funds and all. It's money, definitely a money machine there, right? But to go even further, guys, think about trying to start a business within the blockchain ecosystem and industry. That's how you can sustain and build wealth in a way where you're not just banking on buy and hold and what's called the greater fool's theory, where you're hoping that someone buys at a price higher than what you bought it, which happens in many markets. Gold is one of them. But, we're talking about, at least with Bitcoin, it is a non-productive asset. So that means holding it in and of itself does not render or yield you any additional Bitcoin. You can go into DeFi and all that, whatever. But I'm just saying the product or the asset itself, holding it doesn't do anything. You're hoping that someone will come in and buy at a later price or a future price higher than where you bought it. So again, think about starting a business and starting to generate some income within the blockchain crypto industry. I think that's the best way you can go. Shout out to 150. Smack them like booties. That's right. Hit them off the motherfucking stage right now for me. Right now, ladies and gentlemen. Hit them. Right now. Thanks, 150, for reminding us. We got 65 people in the building right now. All right, man. So, look, I'm going to jump off of crypto for a minute. It kind of relates to crypto, but this is crazy. So, I know a lot of you, even the crypto Twitter family, they've been going crazy over this, but this ChatGPT, We talked about it on my podcast last week on Twitter, and I don't know if you guys been playing with it. I saw Red River ask the question earlier. Has anyone been playing with this ChatGPT? I think he was in our podcast this past Wednesday as well when we talked about it. But have either of you messed with it yet?
I have not. I will say I just heard about this not too long ago, and from what I have heard, again, I have not done this. This thing can do some pretty incredible stuff, and so if it can do some of the things that I think I saw somebody on a TikTok, I think, talking about how it basically instructed it to write a paper with certain like sources for the paper, and it did it, right? And then it said like basically write a code. He told it to write certain code for an output, right? You do the input as per the code, and this is the output that I want. And it did it. This thing is going to put a lot of people out of business. There's always going to be things. There's always going to be things like working with your hands that you're not going to be able to. Right?
Construction is good.
It. But man, if you're
able somewhat. Now they're building homes, bro.
Oh yeah,
they're building homes
and doing all that.
So they're even construction will be, but not. I mean, if you needed something repaired, you're gonna have to call a guy in. They're gonna have to repair it or whatnot. Rice, have you played any with this ChatGPT?
Is it free? First of all,
yes, it is free.
So
for now,
so
jump on there and get
right now. Can I try something on there? Is it ChatGPT.com?
No, I'll have to find the link for you.
So I haven't personally messed with it. I don't want to upset my girl. Yeah, I can't upset Sophia.
Not?
Sophia, my girl.
Oh, Sophia. Your second girl. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, my side bitch. She's gonna be coming on my show here next year. And but really, in all seriousness, if people go check out Pre-Search's YouTube channel and watch the live stream from Friday, Colin Pape does a really good job explaining, because they are a decentralized search engine. They're trying to replace Google. So if we're talking about Google being replaced, there would be no need for Pre-Search. So he does a really good job explaining this. And the other thing is, one of the engineers that works, one of the developers that works at Pre-Search, he, in addition, prior to Pre-Search, wrote a book about AI and search. So he's very, very, very much someone that you guys might want to interview when it comes to understanding this. But also another thing that I'll highlight, and I believe somebody gave that AI chat by the SAT test, and it failed it miserably. So and just like I interviewed Ben Goertzel, the founder one of the creators of Sophia, they're not as advanced as people are trying to make it out to be. So I think it's guessing.
Hey, Blood, I don't mean to cut you off, Rice, but hey, Blood, just so you know, when you're typing, your mic is really picking up that typing heavy. I'm just letting you know.
Thanks. All right, gotcha.
He's like banging on the keyboard, like.
Let's see if Rice can hear over this.
But yeah, the Ben Goertzel, people could check out my interview too with Ben Goertzel about the whole AI thing, because I just think it's more guesstimating, and again, I don't think it's now.
It's not.
The more that we feed it, the more that we
it's
feed
not,
it,
bro.
I think the better that it will get, because that's the idea.
So I have a computer science background, and I'm telling you guys, this shit is going to rock industries. I'm telling you, it's crazy, because I do really see Google being obsolete. The way we search today, literally, and Google uses some AI in their search queries.
They wouldn't be replaced by it.
You wouldn't need it though. If Google were to look to acquire OpenAI's technology with ChatGPT, there isn't a price high enough they could pay. They wouldn't sell it to them. They would just become the new Google.
Okay.
OpenAI would just become the new Google, in my opinion. But so this thing, man, is crazy.
Is it data? So at the point where we're at right now, like Rice was saying, yes, it gets better and better as we continue to feed it. Is it effectively like it looked like you had to sign up? Is what it looked like, right? So I was literally, and so this is where I was headed. If it's free, you're the product. I literally was about to say that, and what I'm getting at is, we are feeding it the information that it needs to continue to get better and better and better? Are we actively participating in our own demise? That's my question.
Yes, we are. Yes, that's why it's free. As I just highlighted, I think Enso said it. If it's free, you're the product. So in this trial period, they're feeding and training the neural networks that this OpenAI is using to better it, to tune it, to fine tune it. And at some point, because the data only goes up to, I think, 2021 at this point. But when it's I think, paid service, it will be kind of on the fly, most up-to-date data as you query it. I just don't trust it.
I'm not feeding into it.
Yeah, I mean, trusting it, you don't have to trust it to know or not know this is going to be a problem in the future for sure. As Keeper just stated, like, this is going to really eliminate a lot of engineers, software developers. I'm referring to. You're not going to need all these coders, man. The code is going to be developed literally by you saying, I want, you basically typing in pseudocode, and it's going to develop a whole damn program for you.
I wonder if it's going to learn. I wonder if it's going to be able to learn Solidity, for an example, right? The moment this thing can start writing smart contracts too, now we're talking. Now I don't.
Oh, that's easy.
I'm not even saying that. I'm not even saying that it can't right now. I'm saying that if it's able to do that, that is going to take a lot of people out of the game, because now, listen, all I have to do is be able to. So I don't know how to write a smart contract. Crusader always has to do that. You know, he's like, hey, Keeper, take care of X, Y, and Z. But one of the things I can't do is write the smart contract. Well, he can. Well, guess what? Now that you don't need that, you just tell it what you want to happen. We are actively participating in that, our own demise. Period. There's no other way to look at it.
Agreed.
Well, what if
Right.
What if Satoshi was AI? I mean, that concept has already been talked about. So, I mean, in a sense, AI could have created the concept of cryptocurrency.
And what are you suggesting though with that?
Just what I said. We don't know how advanced AI is or has been. So what if AI created Bitcoin?
No, we weren't. So like AI, the breakthrough in AI came.
That would be another reason
Canada.
Why coins wouldn't move. AI doesn't need money.
So no, the reason coins aren't moving because Satoshi's dead. That's why.
It's just an interesting concept. That's all. I'm
telling you, Satoshi's dead. That's why I need to make a shirt that says Satoshi's dead.
I got a video you gotta watch. I'll send you later. I want your comments on.
Cool. So yeah, I think so. To your point, Rice, about if Satoshi was AI, whatever. Well, the AI breakthrough didn't really happen until like I want to say like 2012.
We know it. We don't know what kind of technologies have been suppressed and have been in existence for quite some time. We just don't know. You know, and I'm
but that's arguing that's arguing a counterfactual. Like I can't. Yeah, of course we can't know that.
I'm saying it's not out of the realm of possibilities. Is all. I'm not saying that Satoshi's AI, but I'm just saying it's not out of the realm of possibility. It's not something I can just say. Nope, there's no way that.
This is hilarious.
Yeah, he's a huge Nickelback fan. Actually,
that's a good one, bro. That's Sean.
That's a good
bravo, bro.
That's
bravo.
A good one,
that goes back to an old joke on my channel with a guy named Ethan Lucas that I do a series with. He's a musician and a huge Nickelback fan. He might even be a bigger Nickelback fan than Sean is. I think Sean's actually slightly upset.
Oh my god, bro! I'm not even gonna make that one audible.
Blood? Isn't that your favorite?
I'm just gonna. Nah, let me see. I like Green Day.
No,
I like the little
good music.
Rage Against Machine.
You don't like awful music like Nickelback.
Nah, I never was in the Nickelback. I was more, when I did listen to rock, it was alternative rock a little bit. I would get with the alternative rock cast.
Yeah, I like the live Throwing Copper album. For those of you that are a little bit older, like myself, live Throwing Copper with Lightning Crashes.
Oh, the band live. Yeah, okay.
Cool. Yeah, that was a great. I like live.
Good shout out, old man.
Yeah.
Yeah, most people probably have no clue what the fuck.
I know, but it's a great album, so there it is.
So I want to get to we're about an hour 9 in. I want to definitely get back into the crypto for a minute, and then we'll top it off with the cherry on top, the Twitter files. Kevin O'Leary made $1.3 million in profit on FTX investment despite claimed loss. So this is very interesting. So, you know, at first this guy was saying that he put about 9.7 million in and it all went to zero and he lost and he's mad. But come to find out that, yeah, you may have put 9.7 in, but you were paid 15 million. So, brother, your math ain't mathing.
It's like the proof of reserves, bro. It's like the proof of reserves, like we were talking about earlier, right? You only have one piece of the puzzle. You can make it look however you want. You don't have the whole thing.
Absolutely.
That's exactly all that is right there. It is deception by omission. That's period. It is a lie by omission.
Yep, lying by omission.
Period.
Exactly. Rice, what's your take on Kevin O'Leary? And, you know,
Shady.
Is he still talking about... No, is he still like praising SBF? I know he came out the gate right when this whole scandal came out. He was backing him up. Has he backtracked on any of that or no?
From what I've seen, I don't know that he's necessarily backtracking on it, but he's just trying to make it like he didn't make a bad investment necessarily. Like you're gonna win some, you're gonna lose some. It was kind of the mentality. He wasn't really what he was complaining about how much money he supposedly lost. In the interview that I had seen, and I can't remember where it was, the interviewer was mentioning, well, what about all the other people that lost money on something that you promoted? So, you know, he's obviously, with him not coming out against Sam Bankman-Fried or FTX in any capacity, it should make you question his
heartless. He's heartless. Why it's simply all about money with him. Yeah, it's no morale, and you know.
Keeper, to do with anything that he does. I didn't really care for him to begin with, but I didn't
really care for him either. His whole demeanor and stuff was a little weird.
With this centralization mentality coming in with the whole VC legacy aspect, I'm just tired of it, and I want to see all these people shaking out as much as possible.
Yeah. BitBoy, I'm gonna say Ben BitBoy. What I call him? Ben Bitcoin BitBoy.
You called him Bitcoin Ben.
Bitcoin Ben Armstrong is what you call him.
Bitcoin Ben Armstrong alluded to in Miami. He's got some dirt on this Mr. Kevin O'Leary, aka
and it was
Mr.
some wild dirt.
Keeper.
Well, one of the
do you know anything about it? What do you?
He was murdering somebody or the death of somebody that he didn't have to take some sort of guilty or admission or involvement with. It seems like, but I don't know enough about it. But it seems like there had something to do with a boating accident, and somebody dying, and maybe his wife possibly being the one who was found guilty in the situation. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know the details either, but it sounds like he was able to pay his way in one way or another out of what ultimately, you know, could be. And again, I don't have the info, so I'm just using from what I've just little tidbits that I've heard. There was some sort of case against him, his family, the combination, and he was able to get off, and somebody died. So yeah, there's a little scary there. Yeah.
When is Bitcoin Ben Armstrong going to release this info? Do you know?
I do not know. I know I'm going to be with Bitcoin Ben Armstrong here pretty soon. For those of you that don't know, can't give away dates or whatever, but there is a group of influencers / people who have lost money from FTX, and we're rallying the troops, and we're going to be headed down to do a little something down in the Bahamas. That's all I'll say.
They're all going to be, and every single one of those individuals is going to be wearing the same outfit that right now Crypto Keeper is wearing.
That's right, baby. We're going to get everybody DCA'd up. They're going to be strapped.
You guys need to rock.
They should. You better be.
My
black ass will be right here.
If anybody associated with the Clinton family shows up while we are there, I'm out, because I'm trying to get back home to my beautiful daughter and wife. So
I'm asking Sam Bankman-Fried to come over to your chat. I keep posting links. He has said that Satoshi isn't an AI or MIA. He's right in front of everyone, and they don't even realize it. So he needs to come. He needs to come and join.
Maybe it's him. Maybe Sam Bankman-Fried is also Satoshi. Maybe that we're going to take a real big
turn SBF, man. If you want some attention, go over to Blood's channel. We can highlight this stuff, man. You're giving us some
SBF. You don't want to slide down 7 Mile, baby. It gets rough. You're gonna leave. You ain't gonna have no hair when you come around these parts, boy. Anyway,
were there any rappers
we got
FTX?
What'd you say? Was there any what?
Rappers? I don't think
Were there any rappers, any hip hop
Were there
cats
any rappers
promoting FTX?
I will all but guarantee that there was, but I don't know the answer to that offhand. We'd have to look that up.
What do
but
you
I will bet somebody did for sure.
Man,
J
oh
Crypto
man.
minded.
So yeah,
Tether, and I don't believe Tether is at any point of failure right now. I talked. With,
no, I don't either. What about you,
Ben
Keeper?
Armstrong, Ben Armstrong feels safe that there may have been some shady shit earlier on a couple years ago, which a lot of us would believe. But now, due to everything going on, everything looks to be kosher as the
last thing anybody wants,
as our masters would say.
That's the last thing anybody wants. If Tether if Tether depegs, we or USDC. We've got problems of the greatest magnitude. That's just a fact.
Steph Curry ain't black. He Creole.
What'd you say? Shaq and Curry were what?
Them green eyes. Steph Curry ain't black. Them green eyes. He ain't black. He Creole. How you like my black voice? Anyway, clearly when your boy Richard Hart came on Crypto Blood's channel a few years ago, he put on his black voice. At least that's what all his followers were saying. Why was Richard sounding like he was black?
That's a great mind your biz comment, by the way. Seth, what is up, brother? He's just so intelligent. This is a really good.
Yes, he is.
One. I like it, Seth. Nice.
Yep. Great, MYB. Shout out to Seth for tuning in tonight. So let's keep it moving. As far as Kevin O'Leary, just to wrap up, man, I think he's distasteful. I think he doesn't have a heart. He's really heartless. That's what I always picked up from him. He's all about the money, and that's it. And hey, I didn't hear any remorse for anyone losing their money. He didn't say anything about, I'm sad that other people got caught up in this and blah blah blah. It was all about him. It's always about him.
Isn't he going to be testifying in DC?
He'll be speaking this week, I think.
Yeah, I think he's testifying. I think it's all on Wednesday the 13th. Somebody said Tuesday, but I think it's Wednesday.
I think it's Wednesday. I think you're right. I think it's Wednesday.
Yep. So Tether, no, I don't think Tether going down would be the death of crypto for a long time, my friend. That would be a death nail for us. So it wouldn't mean that the technology doesn't work. See, that's the thing. The technology still will work, but the price, oh, good God. Grayscale, to your point, Rice, I think, and I said this on Around the Blockchain this past week, Rice, you were watching.
A crypto moment.
Grayscale is the last big shoe to drop. I think it will drop. I really do. I think that's the last one to drop. And when it drops, that will be your capitulation moment, and you better be ready and have some dry powder to buy in. I don't know what that price looks like. Who knows? But boy, yeah, I think it's coming. Nick, what do you think about Grayscale? Do you think they're going to be able to survive this FTX massacre?
Yeah, I mean, I don't see Grayscale going anywhere. They are one of those. They are the Grayscale, BlackRock, and what's the third one?
WEF or something.
Well, I was getting to that, but no, there's one more. I think it starts with a V. Daggone it. Well, whatever. Grayscale and BlackRock are in tune and intertwined and in bed and own just about everything on planet Earth as it relates to some of these massive companies. They are not going anywhere. Ultimately, they could get absolutely, quote unquote, crushed by some of this, and it still would not knock them out of the game.
Are you talking about Digital Currency Group?
No, it was not DCG.
Because they're the ones who own Grayscale.
Vanguard. There it is. Vanguard. There it is. And Digital Currencies Group is huge too, and Vanguard. But yeah, ultimately it comes down to the WEF.
I don't know that BlackRock is entwined with Grayscale. I know that BlackRock is
I'm comparing
Bitcoin investing.
No, I'm comparing them like as one of those big hitters in with the World Economic Forum. One of those companies that ultimately is like ominous dominus. You've been blessed to be able to do X, Y, and Z because you play with our rules and you're headed in the direction that we want you to go. So long term, I don't see it going anywhere.
China.
Make sure you guys take a moment.
Just a side note. Have you ever seen Have you seen what you just showed? Have you seen the show? And I don't remember when it was, but maybe back in the 70s or whatever, the exact video of the very exact same thing happening to the like words that they were using. Have you seen that? The Will Smith comparison to what actually happened back, I think it was in the 70s. You've not seen this? You need to look at
bring
this.
it up, bro.
We live in a matrix. You realize that we live in a matrix.
We live in a simulation. I'm convinced.
Let me see if I can find it real quick.
Welcome to the machine.
Yeah, see if you can find it. But while he's looking, ladies and gentlemen, take that time. 61 people in the building. Get up on that stage. Smack that like button for us, please. It helps us. It helps the algorithm pick us up. We know we're shadow banned, but hey, we're gonna press through anyway. Please show us some love. We need to have at least 61 likes right now. If we don't, I don't know how many we do have. I'm sure it ain't 61.
Between both channels, there's over 100 viewers, which is awesome. So wherever you're watching this, hit that.
Yeah,
like.
that's great.
Smash them booties.
Yep. So smack it. Slow mo. Look at that follow through and the turnover of his wrist, man. That boy is a golfer. You see how he hit he rotated over right after that's great technique, Will Smith. We love you, man.
I was waiting for Chris Rock to start tap dancing.
Well, there you have it, guys. Let's keep this thing moving while Keeper brings up, hopefully, the simulation, the proof that we live in a simulation. I have no clue what he's talking about.
I literally have one right here.
So the same thing happened in the 1970s, basically, and you're saying that what took place was a reenactment of said event in the 70s,
yes.
Which could have been just replacing the character in the actual original program.
Where's my screen share on here?
It's at the bottom.
At the bottom.
Present. Share screen. Yep. Okay, so it is. Let me see which one.
Make sure you share the right screen there, brother.
I know. Listen, can't be sharing the wrong one.
Oh no,
might have some
okay.
right off here.
Okay, well, no big boy,
right off here.
Big girl. No big girls coming up there.
You ready for this?
Yeah.
Or Rachel.
Yeah.
This is not Will Smith right now.
Finally.
Elijah taking the stage. Wow.
And then, okay, so it goes further into that. Here, I'll stop sharing my screen. It goes further into that. There we go. It goes further into it to the point where when he sits back down, the guy up on stage says, "Wow, it was just a joke. I'm a comedian." Literally, then the guy sitting down says, "Keep my wife's name out of your," I think he says vocabulary, something a little bit differently, but it is exact. I'm telling you, it is exactly.
So the architect took
why didn't we see that part? I gotta see that part.
It is exactly the same because that's all that I could pull that
thing from the 70s, and all they did was take the different NPCs out and exchange characters for today. That's where the Matrix lies, because you have all these repetitive patterns.
No, real talk. I believe that
this has happened before. You know, life is not real, people. Realize it.
It is not.
It's wild.
I don't know
so go run and jump off that bridge, guys.
Serious. Enjoy
you
the
won't die.
What it is, but yeah, you fucking will. Don't jump.
The short film.
I'm not recommending people jump off the bridge, okay? Because I think it's just like a dream, okay? If you die in a dream,
no, don't do that. No, I'm just joking, guys. But definitely don't.
You're not.
Don't stress over.
One. I'm not one.
Don't stress over life, man. It is definitely a simulation. Please have some fun. So the main question is Coinbase. Oh, that's we'll get to that. What were you gonna say, Keeper?
Oh, I was just gonna say that other video that was the exact same thing has amassed over like 5 million views on somebody's YouTube recently because that got released out there. I think on TikTok. And just watch the whole thing sometime. I'm telling you, it's scary.
So is the simulation trying to tell us that Chris Rock is really white?
I don't know what it's trying to tell us, but the dude, the dude up there was.
That's what I grabbed from this whole thing, that he's just a white person. That's what I.
Yes, it will.
That's what I grabbed. Yeah, right. All right, so that's interesting, bro. Drop a link to that in the chat room, Keeper, if you can. We're gonna move on to another article from Protos about. Let me bring this up. FTX. Now, this is interesting because when I read this earlier this week, I was like, yep, I can see this happening. I can definitely see this being the case. So it looks like, according to sources close to SBF, he essentially steered the prices to benefit his various crypto firms, including FTX and Alameda Research. Unconfirmed reports indicate that FTX shorted TFL's Terra Luna token in order to get a fat quote-unquote profit. Simultaneously, a massive wave of sell orders came in for its stablecoin Terra USD, which is intrinsically linked to the price of Luna. These orders were reportedly made by FTX. Only the orders were too much for the stablecoin to keep up with. It lost its peg in an effort to bring back up to $1. TFL flooded the market with Luna tokens. So what do you, man, this all makes sense now, because remember back when Terra went down, people were saying, oh, BlackRock, there's some institution that was making trades. Remember that? Now it looks like, allegedly, we don't know yet, but it looks like that institution wasn't necessarily BlackRock, but Alameda Research. I'll be damned. SBF literally took down the whole crypto industry or market. What do you have to say about that, Rice?
Well, if you know, I've been following a lot of what Ben Armstrong's been talking about, because since he's been raising the flag, people have been reaching out to him, and he's been getting a lot of information, and he's under the assumption, from what I'm gathering, that pretty much everything that we've seen this year, including Celsius and Voyager, and Luna, all had to do with FTX. So I would love to see more investigating taking place with that. I sent you in the private chat a link for that video that shows a side-by-side of those things happening at the same time. I haven't looked at it.
So let's take a look at this really quickly, ladies and gents.
Check. I'm telling you.
I'm not going to play the sound.
It's pretty interesting.
And literally the things that he says, see, he starts to laugh. She's not so happy. He's like, oh, just joking. And then she's like,
wow.
Now look, does his jacket.
And he's got the suit on.
The jacket, walks right up. Black.
Yeah.
Look, Elijah Lewis just slapped the heck. Don't you ever
talk about my wife that way.
Relax, my
Oh my God, bro. We live in a simulation, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry. As Rice said, they just swapped out the avatars. Very similar scenario.
How many games have you seen that?
Makes no sense.
Yeah.
Where they just switch out characters, same scene.
It's absolutely wild. The FTX stuff, man. I wouldn't put anything past what he has done. I will say the interesting thing that I'm finding is, like, first of all, the fact that he is talking to these Twitter Spaces and doing the interviews.
Yeah, that's weird. That's
really
super weird, bro.
It's really weird, because any attorney would tell you are
He's
not
incriminating himself.
He 100% is, and it's almost as if the game plan is in that, or he knows because he has a deal somewhere somehow that he's untouchable. Period.
Well, let's also say too, I mean, we're saying he, obviously he was the CEO.
I'm using him as
he could not have done this completely alone. So there's a whole cast of characters behind this fuckery.
Listen to this though. Listen to this. And I heard this, and I was like, holy mackerel. Who's the Dave Portnoy? Dave Portnoy, the head of Barstool Sports. Okay, when they did a promotion of FTX. Sam Bankman-Fried would not pay for the promotion until he personally spoke with Dave Portnoy. He would not release the funds. So you're telling me that somebody is watching their money that close, that they're looking at their advertising revenue and saying, I need to speak to the owner, the CEO of the company, right? That before I release these funds, doesn't know where $8 billion went. Get out of here. Not factual.
Yeah, get out of here.
This is get down the road with that.
Yeah, I agree. So Swaphouse made a good point. You're muted, Mike. Rice. Swaphouse made a good point. Is FTX a skit too?
So Sam
Maybe, my
Bankman-Fried,
friend.
for whatever reason, will not join the chat over there, and he says Alameda had a leverage short.
He already know.
Crashed it.
He know what's going on.
And we had reserves still active in Terra. We also got liquidated as it went down. That's what Sam Bankman-Fried said. Just so everybody's aware. I don't know why he won't come over to your channel. He said we got to schedule it
Because he already know. Nah, yeah, he already know. I'm gonna mess him up coming over here with that nonsense.
You're gonna go Detroit on him.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Detroit 313 on him. All right. So also this says here, if reports are substantiated, SBF attempted to depeg the stablecoin in order to bring down the price of Luna, therefore cashing out big on his short. So here's the thing. So from what I'm understanding, guys, he did this because he was in a pickle. He was in a bind. So he was literally trying to exploit a big crash in the token price of Terra Luna, and he's already on the right side of it, being a short, so that he can make some money and maybe cover some of his losses from Alameda. So what I was hearing is that Alameda was not making money. They were making bad trades. Their arbitrage technique or strategy began to not make as much money as it maybe initially did. And he was just trying to scramble to make up funds, right? So he began to get desperate, and maybe this was one of those moves, and he didn't intend for it to kill the whole crypto industry. But what are your thoughts on that part there, Keeper?
Yeah, so they had no liquidation point as it relates to Alameda. Alameda, because they were the exchange and the market maker, he was able to manipulate it so that Alameda had no liquidation point. That means, and I talk about that a lot, because that means, think about if we were leverage trading, okay, Blood and Rice. If we're leverage trading and you know that you have zero liquidation point, you could theoretically be trading 100x, and you know you're not going to get, you know that you're not going to get liquidated. And all you would have to do is put the trade in and wait for it to move into the positive, into the green, no matter whether you're shorting or long.
Yeah, that's called martingale theory, martingale strategy, trading theory.
And
you don't have a stop loss.
Yeah,
you just trade until you have that open until it's profitable for you.
Right, and at the end of the day, with no liquidation point, you could do that, right? And so ultimately, the whole thing was just set up to be deceitful, to be deceiving, and to give them the ability to make massive amounts of money. I think the more interesting part is the liquid tokens that they were creating. They were a token that would mimic the exact token. They would show it. What's that?
Counterfeiting.
Yes, they were counterfeiting. They were counterfeiting tokens, and this has been proven as well. And I think they called them liquid tokens, is what they called them. But they effectively copied the contract. Would show, basically, they would print all of these tokens. They would show.
Oh, you mean hit BTC?
And then they would leverage,
right?
And then hold on, but then they would leverage it as well. So they would show these other companies that they're holding all of this to then be able to take on more real capital when it wasn't even there in the first place.
Right now, as far as proving this, though, like I think there's only one project, from what I understand, that has some really good technology with their coin, and that is New Genesis.
Yes,
New Genesis apparently has some built-in AI mechanism.
Well, that's what got caught. That's what caught it.
Tracks everything, and apparently, what the guys over at FTX wanted was source code for all the coins. They gave them everything minus the AI information. So when they counterfeited the coins, the AI was able to automatically recognize that these are counterfeit automatically. So there was proof 100%, because otherwise we're just speculating. This particular situation, we can prove it, and then we know based on balance sheet information that's been given out that they didn't have any Bitcoin in reserve. So therefore, all the Bitcoin being traded was counterfeit. It was rehypothecation. So my biggest question, and the only thing I want to say, because we're going to keep talking about this subject that we don't want to keep talking about, because justice has not been served. So when is this motherfucker going to get arrested is basically the question that people need to be asking, because you're looking at a lot of different criminal activity taking place.
Right. This is not by mistake. This is not a. These are premeditated moves.
Insider trading.
Yeah, these are premeditated moves.
Fucking, there's a list of things, and then we got to look at the SEC corruption, the Ukraine partnership, and whether money was being funneled. I mean, there's so many different things, and the fraudulency and the criminal activity to the projects like New Genesis that we just mentioned. So there's a plethora of things, many different reasons to have this guy incarcerated and locked up right now. Why isn't he arrested? Why isn't he locked up? Why is he free right now? That's my biggest concern and biggest question, because I'm really starting to I think I've already lost it, but this legal system that we have in the United States, it's just a fucking joke.
Yeah, it's a sham.
I don't think I screwed up anything with the algorithm there. I just need to get that out. I need to vent.
Yeah, I'm with it, bro. They
good,
you know,
man.
we want to hold him.
Listen, the algorithm already got me screwed, so you pretty much say anything. It ain't gonna change my numbers.
We want to hold him accountable.
Well, I wouldn't say that, because I can go through a string of words that will probably get your channel just shut down.
Oh yeah,
he needs to be held accountable. Unfortunately, what we're seeing is, so you know, we've got a group of us that are going to try to make that happen or to help bring attention to that. I'm not going to get into those details right now, but what I will say is that if nothing happens from this, then it is 100% evident that he just absolutely, because of who he was donating money to, how heavily endorsed, how heavily he endorsed the Democratic Party, how exactly what Rice was talking about, the money with Ukraine, the whole circle, the whole cycle of, let's call it what it is, money laundering that was happening because of the people that he was doing it with. If nothing happens, that will be why. That will be why. So,
Joanna McGrath, thank you for tuning in.
Well, that's a great question.
I don't think so. We would. That would be easily discoverable. Yeah.
When you guys whenever something like this potentially happens, just be very careful of not coming off as like vigilante, like you're the fucking Punisher. That's all.
Yeah. No.
I understand when justice isn't being served, you want to do what you can to help escalate that process, but there's no warrants out for the arrest where anybody can do like a citizen's arrest. It would be kidnapping, and you guys could be potentially putting yourself in criminal activity with this corrupt legal system.
Yeah, I just want, honestly, I said this to Keeper when we were in Miami. Like, I just want him being Ben to be careful, bro, because he's stepping in the realm of some very powerful individuals.
Period.
And I just want him to be careful out there. I know he's clout chasing. That's what we call it, clout chasing. But
he's trying to do good as well.
Comes at a cost.
Get it. And hopefully he is thinking clearly, and he seems to have good people around him. So hopefully if he's not making good choices, people are letting him know that maybe he might want to rethink what he's doing. And people like us can always be good reminders. That's what friends are for.
Right. Absolutely. So let's go ahead and move into, we were talking about politics a little bit. Let's go ahead and start moving into that realm. But before that, I do want to cover one last thing. We're about an hour and 37 minutes in. Just really quickly, I saw this over the weekend. I don't know if you guys caught this, and I wanted to bring it up and get your opinion on it. Did you hear about The Block? I sometimes get my information from The Block. They do a really good job curating and creating crypto news, and they do some other things too. But this guy, the CEO, he just stepped down over the weekend because it was exposed that he was taking loans from Alameda, or I should say SBF, directly to the tune of like $27 million, I think, altogether. There are three different loans. And my question to you, Nick, is what's the play there, like, for SBF to do something like this for a crypto news outlet? Was there chess being played with this position, or what?
Listen, perception is reality in the world that we live in, especially in a world that is so heavily driven by social media and by just our media in general. So think about the fact that the things that have happened over the past few years have been so heavily media driven, and the programming and the brainwashing and all the things that happen. I don't care if you're far right, far left, or somewhere in between. There's programming involved on both sides, right? Depending on which news outlet you watch, this, that, and the third. Think about if you could loan somebody money And effectively, it's kind of like a bribe, right? It's like, hey, I'll loan you this money. By the way, I'm going to need some interest off that, but I'll loan you the money. All I need you to do is favorably talk about our exchange on a regular basis, put us out there in the spotlight, make us as if blah. I mean, ultimately, think about it. You are opening yourself and your company and everyone up to just say that we are the best thing on planet Earth, and we can't. You really couldn't lose from that. Having control of the media, and that's what the loan was for. Has to be.
Yeah. Rice, what are your takes on strategically why SBF would have done that, loan 3 separate times to the block?
Again, just good favor, good press. Trying to make sure they're getting good press coverage. I mean, especially if you're doing a bunch of shady things, you want to try to have one of these media outlets on tap to try to make sure that they're trying to put out more positive information for you. Also, you got to consider how many different media outlets there are as well. And the competition that's going on and what these entities need to do to stay in existence. I mean, even Cointelegraph do a lot of sponsored advertisement articles, something that you would think that was written by somebody at Cointelegraph. They're willingly just going to accept money for a lot of projects that could even be scams, which is really sad. So, I mean, it's just people have seen the power of the media and how it could be used to manipulate. And if you can be strategic, that's the one thing I will say about everything that SBF has done with his donations. I mean, he was very strategic about it. I mean, I ask why he's not arrested, and I know right now the biggest answer is all the people he's been paying off for these past couple years.
Yeah,
there's power in that, and but unfortunately, there's enough information out there that the powers that be may want to put this under the rug and try to get us to forget about this, but the crypto community is not going to allow that to take place. We're going to make sure we keep this information out there.
We're pretty persistent.
Is being served,
Absolutely.
Regardless if you hire Ghislaine Maxwell's attorney or not.
Right. Yeah, no, he's doing jail time, in my opinion. Keeper, do you think he's going to do some jail time?
And I don't know. I think optically you would like to think so. I think that if he does any sort of quote-unquote time, I think it will be some sort of a plea deal that will work out and then basically he'll just kind of disappear off into the distance, and I'm going to guess he's going to be getting served lattes in the morning and playing tennis at noon, and it's going to be white collar as
the federal prison.
It'll be a private prison. It'll be a private prison, which will be effectively a country club if he does time.
Rice, will he do time?
If he doesn't, he will end up missing.
Oh, you say if he doesn't? No, you think that?
He owes a lot of people. Well, why do you think he's not in Dubai?
Why do we think that he's not already missing? Because the people that usually make.
But Caroline is in Dubai, right? That's what I've been hearing. That Caroline is in Dubai.
I heard she's in New York City.
She was in New York. She was spotted in New York City a week ago from today in Soho at some coffee shop, which is like 6 blocks away from the FBI in New York. So a lot of people are speculating that she's flipping because FBS is trying to put a lot of blame on her and Alameda. Yeah. He's not trying to, even though he's admitted fault and basically criminalize, he's admitted the fraud. He's also trying to point the finger at other people as well, and her being one of them. And I guess, after having that happen enough, it's kind of why would she be in the States, in New York City, 6 blocks away from the FBI at some coffee shop in Soho?
Yeah, and if ultimately something does happen where he's going to talk, he won't end up being able to talk. Let's just say that. Yeah. Right? Like, if he's going to talk, he's not going to talk.
Dubai would love to have him there because that would be the end of it. He screwed enough Dubai money people over. Yeah. Those people will
people don't play about their money.
Behead him.
Yeah.
And hang his head
Politics and
money. Politics and money. Well, I'm going to go ahead and drop the flex bomb because this is the last topic for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to go over the Twitter files. Man, did you guys read this thread? The latest. Donald Trump, the removal of Donald Trism.
It's a long
Did
thread.
you get a chance to take a look at this, Rice? It was a long thread. It was 26 messages.
No, I have not. And here's the thing, man. With everything that's happening, we got information overload happening, and it's really hard. Like, you didn't know that Caroline Ellison was in New York City last weekend.
Did not know. Right.
But
No.
I didn't read this. I'm going to trust you. You trust me. I am going to dig into it, man. But I'm just being hit from every single angle about information happening all over the world and all these different things that is hard to pay attention to. Probably one of the most important things that have been released in quite some time. All this information, including this part here. But it shows.
Shout out to Red River Post. I'm definitely going to do that. We're going to take the last 15 minutes or so to go through that. I just want to kind of see if any of the panelists were able to take a look at this. Keeper, did you take a look at this?
Yep. Yeah, I did. And you know, for me,
what were your thoughts?
For me, it was quite simple. It shows, without a shadow of a doubt, a coordinated effort to silence one side of an argument. Period. End. Stop. And that's all it was. Because on the other side of it, you'll see when we kind of read through this, there was it alluded to, hey, if any circumstance, and they made it like such an extreme example that would have to happen for them to silence anyone else on the other side of the aisle, so to speak. That I mean,
and then they said he said at the end of the thread, this was pretty crazy too. He made comment and alluded to, like, they said there maybe there are times where the Trump administration went out and queried Twitter, but we have yet to find any. Like, you know what I mean? Like, the Trump administration never reached out to them to try to squash a liberal side, or maybe they didn't have the lines of communications to do that. But yeah, they so let's go ahead and run through this. It's 27 threads here, messages. I'm gonna try to run through this really quickly. Now, this guy here is Matt Taibbi. This is the gentleman that Elon Musk decided to disseminate some of the first Twitter files.
He had something to do.
I think he's a Reddit guy, right?
I think he had something to do with releasing information in 2008 with a lot of the economic stuff. He's been known to be like a legit reporter that leaks information out. So I'm glad that Elon chose him.
Oh, sweet. So let's go through this really quickly. The world knows much of the story of what happened between riots at the Capitol on Jan 6th and the removal of President Donald Trump from Twitter on Jan 8th. Now, we'll show you what hasn't been revealed. The erosion of standards within the company in months before J6, decisions by high-ranking executives to violate their own policies, and more, against the backdrop of ongoing documented interaction with federal agencies. This first installment covers the period before the election through Jan 6. Tomorrow, such and such will detail the chaos inside Twitter on Jan 7. On Sunday, Barry Wise will reveal the secret internal communications from the key date of Jan 8th. So whatever your opinion on the decision to remove Trump that day, the internal communications at Twitter between January 6th and Jan 8th have clear historical import. Even Twitter's employees understood in the moment it was a landmark moment in the annals of speech. So it says here, is this the first sitting head of state to ever be suspended? They asked one of the Twitter employees. So it goes on to say, as soon as they finished banning Trump, Twitter execs started processing new power. They prepared to ban future presidents and White Houses, perhaps even Joe Biden. The new quote-unquote administration says one exec quote-unquote will not be suspended by Twitter unless absolutely necessary. Twitter executives removed Trump in part over what one executive called the quote-unquote the context surrounding actions by Trump and supporters over the course of the election and, frankly, the last 4 years. In the end, they looked at a broad picture, but that approach can cut both ways. The bulk of the internal debate leading to Trump's ban took place in those 3 January days. However, the intellectual framework was laid in the months preceding the Capitol riots. Before J6, Twitter used a unique mix of automated rule-based enforcement and more subjective moderation by senior executives. As Barry Weiss reported, the firm had a vast array of tools for manipulating visibility, This is what we're all experiencing on other platforms. Not going to say most all of which were thrown at Trump / and others. As the election approached, senior executives, perhaps under pressure from federal agencies with whom they met more as time progressed, increasingly struggled with rules and began to speak of VOs as pretext to do what they'd likely have done anyway. After J6 internal Slack show Twitter executives getting kicked out of intensified relationships with federal agencies, here's trust and safety head Ural Roth lamenting a lack of generic enough calendar descriptions to conceal his very own interesting meetings with them. So it just goes on and on, and also says here, I wanted to highlight. Go ahead, Keeper. Do you want to?
Oh no. I just
tune in here.
I was going to say it goes on and on and on, just showing exactly what it's saying right now. That it was a very
one particular effort. Slack channel. One particular Slack channel offers a unique window into the evolving thinking of top officials in late 2020 and early 21. On October 8th, executives opened a channel called US 2020 XFN Enforcement. Through J6, they would be home for discussions about election-related removals, especially ones that involved high-profile accounts, or they call VITs, and it kind of goes through that. There was at least some tension between one department and others, because other departments in Twitter who were really going off rule-based decisions like removing porn and scams and threats and stuff, they were going against the safety operations department, which was, we find out later here, was just on the whim. They would literally just make up stuff and just ban people. They say here the latter group were a high-speed Supreme Court of moderation, issuing content rulings on the fly, often in minutes and based on guesses, gut calls, even Google searches, even in cases involving the president. That is crazy. During this time, executives were also clearly liaisoning with federal enforcement and intelligence agencies about moderation of election-related content. While we're still at the start of reviewing the Twitter files, we're finding out more about these interactions every day. And then it goes on to say here, there's another part. This post about the Hunter Biden laptop situation shows that Roth not only met weekly with the FBI and DHS, but with the Office of the Director of National Intelligence. They didn't even know about it. There's so many agencies, bro. Like, how many agencies are there? Like 300 or something like that, Rice? I forgot how many number.
You're talking about government agencies?
How many agencies there? Government agencies.
Well, I mean, there was only 19 enumerated powers that were given in the Constitution, and we're well beyond that. Yeah,
what's the Constitution?
Subsections, and then this is where you get that what people would call the shadow government, because you have all these non-elected officials that serve in these positions for lifetime as their career, and all this stuff happens in the back end. Now, the most alarming thing about all this is, one, how long has this been going on? Let's go back before the Trump Biden stuff. How long has this kind of manipulation been taking place on Twitter and social media? We've seen Zuckerberg, he went on Rogan's show talking about the FBI and Facebook and censorship. Yeah. So I'm pretty sure that every platform is going to be in the same position. We see what took place with, I think it was Rumble early in 2021, where a bunch of the big tech companies, Apple and Google, removed them from their Play stores and such, where it wasn't available to be downloaded. It may have been a different application, but we're seeing this technocracy. We're seeing this control. And again, we were talking about SBF buying off the block. I mean, this is like so much worse than that. And really, the other travesty is, Matt Taibbi is a great reporter, but we don't have other reporters like him reporting on this information. The mainstream news isn't trying to exactly get this information out there. And unless you're on Twitter or you've looked at this stuff, you have no clue about this and how corrupt and how deep it goes. And people really need to wake up, because this is supposed to be your government, people. They failed you, and they're failing you, and this is like complete evidence of the fact. So people need to wake up.
Not even failed. Let's go a step further. Flat out deceived you with a purpose.
Well, failed you in protecting you.
Yeah. So, but I guess what I'm saying is,
their goals.
attacking an idea, attacking a version of, attacking truth or something close to, and just basically saying, listen, no matter what that information is, we're not going to allow it to be out. We have a narrative to keep up with, and it's not going to be nobody's going to hear anything other than the narrative that we have at hand.
And I think it'll bring
back, at the end of the day, like I feel like if an entity decides to go this far to block the masses from hearing about it, it clearly can't be false, right? You wouldn't, if something was just, oh man, this is false, I don't even care if that gets out. We know it's not true, right? We know XYZ didn't happen or XYZ did happen. We don't care that. We wouldn't moderate that, right? They wouldn't moderate something that was true or wasn't true, I should say. They are going after, in my opinion, and probably still in other outlets, on other outlets. Thank God Elon took over Twitter, but Elon didn't take over Facebook. He didn't take over Google. He didn't take over any of these other conglomerates that are still molding and shaping what we see.
But
he didn't take over NBC. He didn't take over ABC. He didn't take over. I mean, if I want to be, try to be biased here or unbiased, he didn't take over Fox, right? Fox has their angle on the right. But we all know that the left controls the narrative. Point blank, period. There's no debate about that. All right, but it's crazy, bro. I just want to read this before we sum it up here. This last one is what I was talking about, Keeper. In examining the entire election enforcement slack, we didn't see one reference to moderation requests from the Trump campaign, the Trump White House, or Republicans generally. We looked. They may exist. We were told they do. However, they were absent here. So we'll have to see further as these files come out what was going on the right side. And it's just interesting, man. I feel good, but at the same time I don't, because I know if this was going on at Twitter, we already know what's going on in the other platforms. So, it's unfortunate, bro.
If it was more public, if it was more public, there's that possibility that the public could put more pressure on these other entities that we're talking about. If people would actually use their power, and we could tell Facebook as a collective, we're going to stop using your product if you don't come clean with what's been going on. This has already happened. This is an example of somebody coming clean. We need to know the truth of what's been happening, because it's
Elon said that he's going to be soon, and maybe this week, he's going to begin flagging accounts that have been shadow banned, or what they call throttled, or whatever, visibility reduction. He's going to start showing you on your account that you were on that list.
Boy. And I'll bet we see a common thread.
Yeah, probably.
We see a common political ideology.
Yeah. Any last words, Rice TVX, man? I really appreciate you coming on, taking 2 hours out of your day to kick it over here on CBTV. Of course, as always, bro.
No, I mean, I enjoy talking with you guys, man, and I enjoy these kind of conversations. I appreciate all the people that watch, and I encourage everybody to follow all of our channels. Information should be in video description. I've got in my video description on Rice TVX information for Debate Crypto, as well as Crypto Blood CBTV. And if you guys are watching this on CBTV, again, make sure you're coming out and checking out and subscribing to both of my channels, Rice TVX and Rice Against the Grain. That's about it, man. Just enjoyed it. It's a great show.
Yeah, as always,
Keeper.
You've got three men sitting here having a conversation, all three of which want to bring you some truth, and that's ultimately what our goal is with Debate Crypto. Question everything, trust nothing. We want to bring to the forefront the idea that a lot of these things that you see and hear in the news media are a narrative. I do want to throw out there just right quick the vest, right? A lot of you are probably wondering, if you haven't seen me wearing it before, Danger Close Alpha. This is our NFT project, and ultimately we just busted over 1,000 mints, so excited about that. We're getting there. We're giving away 5 Ethereum. So dangerclosealpha.com if you want to mint their 0.01 Ethereum to have the opportunity to win 5 Ethereum, and we brought the prepper community together with the NFT community. So I'd love to see you guys over there, dangerclosealpha.com. And I love you guys. Thank you for having me on, as always, Blood.
No doubt, no doubt. Again, guys, make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and click that bell to receive more videos like this. I'm gonna try to do more of these off the chain episodes over the weekend. I got a special guest next week, big timer. I might even try to get pull Rice in on this one too.
Oh, is that the one you talked to me about?
Again. Yes, sir.
Well, if it
yes,
is, the name was mentioned today.
Yes, it was.
Want to go through and figure out all the different.
Yes.
Oh, you got Donald Trump coming on?
That's a possibility.
Rewatch it.
You have to wait.
Hey, you never know who Blood knows, man. I know a couple people. But again, tune in for next week to see who we got coming in. It's going to be a major one. It's going to be a big one. It's going to be uncut and raw as always. Your boy Crypto Blood, and that's another Off the Chain episode 89. I'm out of here. Holla!
Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ether, cash, Bitcoin, Litecoin,
Smoking on that crippy got me cliff high. Steam pot, heat rock, slingshot. Surfing through the city while them chips rise. Hot boy, do it big time. Element with my summer bay, we booed up. Cali hit the bay, we fly MIA, we pulled up. Sipping on this drink, bitch, I know the way. We juiced up, nigga violate till it's JFK like your roof up. Coin daddy bout them chips, nigga, rap snacks. Face all in a box, nigga, Snapchat. Fucking with the ops to get you clapped. No cap, nigga, rap.
stacking my coin, stacking my coin, stacking my coin, coin.
Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
Okay. Ready?
Fucking thing sucks. We'll do it live.
Okay.